We only have two topics to cover today. But we will start by asking Mr. Griffin to do a roll call for us, please.
Dr. Chisholm Burns.
Here.
Mr. Dixon.
Here.
Ms. Gresham. Commissioner Gresham. Dr. Christopher Jones. Dr. Yolanda Jones.
Here.
Mr. Rothermel.
Here.
Mr. Glenn Swift. Commissioner Glenn Swift.
There we
I think
go.
he's on mute.
Got muted. I'm here.
Mr. Vaughn.
I'm here.
Madam Chairman.
Present.
Madam Chairman, you have 8 members present.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. I appreciate it. Mr. James, will you please read us our statement of necessity?
Happy to. Dear Mr. Green, pursuant to state law, the Tennessee Education Recovery Innovation Commission, by and through the State Board of Education, hereby submits this letter of determination of necessity for a committee meeting held via teleconference at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on the 8th of March 2021. In order to conduct a discussion on visioning, the commission had to schedule this special call meeting because of the pandemic and because the members of the commission reside across the state. It was determined that the physical quorum of the members could not be assembled in Nashville for purposes of this meeting. As such, the commission met via teleconference on the 8th of March 2021 to continue its work. And the list of attending members is there. So you are now legal.
Thank you so much, Mr. James. Our two topics today, we're going to be having a conversation about the consultant agreements that all of you have received, and we're also going to be talking about our vision that Commissioner Swift had proposed in our last conversation. And we'll start with the consultant agreement. All of you have received a consultant agreement from Mr. James, one from Bellwether and one from DC Strategies. I just want to open up the floor for conversation about those proposals. Any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions? Does anyone like one over the other one?
This is Todd Dixon. I've worked with Bell multiple times and just found them to be really high quality. So if I was reading through this too, it'd be my preference to work with Bellwether.
Bellwether is my preference as well. This is Yolanda.
This is Joey. I also liked Bellwether, and in looking at the information, I thought that it was a good fit.
I support Bellwether. I thought it was the best one.
Chair. I think
So then we need to take a, I'm sorry?
might be time for a motion.
So, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the State Board of Education in consultation with Commissioner Tara Scarlett to engage consulting support for the work of the Education Recovery and Innovation Commission.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Let me bring it back up. I'm sorry. I think I have to have Mr. Griffin do a roll call.
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys. Although it was fun seeing you wave.
Commissioner Burns.
Here.
Commissioner Dixon.
In favor.
Commissioner Gresham.
Aye.
Commissioner Christopher Jones. Commissioner Dr. Yolanda Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Rothermel.
Aye.
Commissioner Swift.
Aye.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Aye.
Chairman Scarlett.
Aye.
Chairman Scarlett, you have 8 ayes.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Griffin. So with that, we'll move on to the vision statements. We had some robust conversation in our last meeting. We'd like to turn it over to Glenn to walk us through his thoughts of what that is right now, and we'll open it up for conversation from there.
Oh, this is Glenn. Very good afternoon, everyone. Beautiful here in Tennessee. Sound like all across the state it's pretty. So, you'll recall on February the 12th, we was a workshop. One of the items was the vision. Eric Hanneman was kind enough to help me through that and do the research. If you've got that, you see that one page. Maybe these are not called best practices, but they're guiding principles, if you would, to visioning that seemed appropriate based on our charter, what we're doing. So at that kind of first reading, we got input from everyone or people that wanted to. We made a few minor changes, and then the next thing happened was a couple of days later, changes kept happening. And we paused and said, this has a feeling of deliberation, and we probably shouldn't be doing that individually. So therefore, it's on today, the agenda. It is the hope that we could agree upon this and move forward. One of the principles that I was guided by is that easily repeated, student focused. And so if we add words, perhaps a good idea to take words out. So those are just some thoughts that I would have. But with that, Tara, I'd turn it back to you if we get comments, questions, and everybody, we can join in and agree upon our vision. Are there comments, questions?
And I think opening up for conversation would be valuable. So if anyone has anything to come up, I do agree with what you're saying, Glenn, in regards to simplifying it as much as possible.
You know, my experience in visioning over the years was you should be able to walk down the halls and talk with any number of people, and they could recite very quickly what their direction, what they're trying to do, what we're, so that's the purpose. What I heard loud and clear was that every Tennessean would have education, quality education necessary. We put together life and career. And I think that pretty well succinctly, only observation I might have is every Tennessean would have access to quality education, but that'd be up to the group to decide about that.
Commissioner Chisholm Burns?
Unless anybody else has any comments, I make a motion that we accept the vision statement as shown on the screen.
Meaning every
Tennessean will have high quality education necessary for life and career.
I'll second that. This is Frank Rothermel.
And are we in discussion now, Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
This is Dolores Gresham. I had sent Catherine a kind of a draft of a vision statement that I was trying to fill in the blanks where it had, where the vision statement had the best practices, that list of items there, be student-centric, provide direction, et cetera, and I tried to fill in the blanks, and maybe I went overboard, but maybe folks might want to take a look at that. I think a high quality education necessary for life and career is entirely appropriate. But I think we need to communicate that the stakes are to be expressed, and perhaps a much loftier vision, I think is what I was looking for. I don't know if Catherine has that available. Just see what you think.
Is that what we're seeing on the screen? It just was highlighted blue. I don't know whether you're able to see that, Laura.
So I don't know if you can read that, but may I read that, Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what I suggested was with an introduction, a literate society is a free society. And to that end, Tennessee will create a world-class public education system available to all Tennesseans, the hallmark of which shall be academic rigor in principle and performance. The system of education will be focused on the task of formation of the Tennessean as an enlightened and engaged citizen. Maybe too verbose, but I was trying to focus in on not only a high quality education, but I guess I took it from the vision being aspirational. So might as well go for the big one as when I put in there the world-class system. And then I thought the most important thing was the formation of an enlightened and engaged citizen, which got to life and career, I think, but obviously life and career is, much more succinct.
Madam Chair, this is Joey, and I appreciate the sentiments here and the thoughts from Commissioner Gresham. A question to possibly consider. We have a vision statement, a possible vision statement that is very succinct and to the point. And our mission, as is down at the bottom of the question mark, I'm wondering if the submission here with Tennessee will create a world-class public education system ongoing might be our mission. Just a thought.
Madam Chair, if I may respond, I think that's entirely appropriate. The vision statement, of course, is supposed to be succinct yet kind of a universal statement, and then the mission statement getting into the particulars. So however we want to work that that's fine. I just thought it was really, really important, I guess, and when we see what's going on in our country right now, that forming the enlightened and engaged citizen is really something that we have fallen back on in previous years. And so I was trying to make up for that.
Ms. Glenn, an observation. Will a third high school student, a legislator, any citizen of Tennessee, will they be able to recite, here's where we're going? It doesn't talk about how we're going to get there. It just says we're going to have high quality education, which is necessary for life, career. Very specifically, very clear. So that would be, I would try that for the group to consider. In other words, the education is necessary for life and career. We pulled those together very succinctly based on your comments at the last workshop.
And I think I have this is Yolanda. I think I just have a question, and this is on the original version. When we exclude like a high quality education? Is that for a reason? And I know our scholars out there can help me with that, but
That came up at our last discussion. We talked about aspirations. We whittled down the words to get every Tennessean. We added quality education. Look, the education is in the means where we're trying to be, which is successful life and career. I would hope that students and any citizen of Tennessee would feel like their state is going to do what it can to help educate them so that they can excel in their aspirations of life and career. Education is a means to the end.
This is Todd Dixon. I think I just wanted to weigh in that I really like just the succinct clarity of the first statement. I think just we spent 2 days at Ballard on a vision statement, and we all ended up getting down to like a super succinct one. So I think that one just sounds nice and clear.
Madam Chair, if I may make a comment here.
Please.
In recent years, for the past 8 to 10 years, Tennessee's K through 12 ranking in the country has risen considerably. And the reason is that teachers and students got down to business, and our rankings soared. And although it didn't mean that every child was making A's and B's, what it did mean is that every year, every child got better. So that growth was very inspirational and continued to be aspirational, because it became quite clear that our kids were as smart as any other kids in the world, and all they had to do is kind of buckle down and really get at it. That's why I put the academic rigor in there. So I guess I based that vision statement on the experience that Tennessee has had already, and the potential that is there that that gives each child and each teacher and each person in the public education system that confidence that they can do this. And so the aspirational part I thought was important. But I'll have to say that the original every Tennessean will have a high quality education necessary for life and career says that all, I would think, but it doesn't communicate to people, I think, of not only of a recognition of what we have done, but of what we could do. And like I said, I just took the points of the best practices for the vision that was on the sheet that we got before, and tried to fill in the blanks and bring it in. So if the group wants to go with that, the original, I'm fine with that. But just so that we have a recognition and acknowledgement of where we've been and what we can do in the future. So I think we need to be a little stronger, I think, in calling to mind to those folks in public education that the expectations are high, and we intend to go there.
Mr. Chisholm. Mr. Chisholm.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm looking at what is highlighted in blue, and I'm just wondering, I'm just throwing this out there for to consider. is that this is not necessarily maybe mission or vision. I think that what we want is every Tennessean to have, you name it, world-class education. I don't know how you measure world-class, but we want them to have it, not access to it, not for it to be available, but we want them, their end product is for them to have it. But I'm looking what's highlighted in blue, and I wonder, and I don't know how far we want to go with this, but in strategic planning, I think some of these things that's listed in blue will actually fall under values. What are the core values, and maybe even methodology. Again, I don't know how far, I don't think we want to go doing a deep dive strategic planning. I get what Ms. Grisham is saying, but I just don't know if I think it might better belong into another section, like values or metrics. It's how to get it done, not necessarily what we're doing, which is the mission. Mission is what we're doing. The vision is what we want to see as our end goal, what we aspire it to be.
Marie, in all due respects, you hit it on the head. What we try to do with the vision is the what versus the how.
Yeah, right. Like I said, we're going way into strategic planning. I don't know if we want to go that far, so I'm trying to cuff myself.
What we want to do is, this is focused on students and or young people and citizens. If they aspire and if they dream, then we're going to do our best to enable those success and those aspirations of life and career. We don't talk about how we're going to do it other than the education is a key element. There's a lot of things other than education outside the classroom.
Any other comments?
We want every person, every organization that has a job opening here, an opportunity for staffing. We want them to have citizens in Tennessee to fill those. And we want the citizens to be well prepared for that. It's not about the vision.
Well, we do have a motion and a second on the floor, and we've had some good discussion. I'd ask for Mr. Griffin to do a roll call vote.
Commissioner
And if everyone
Burns,
else, I'm sorry, if everyone else can please mute your line, that'd be great. Catherine, would you mind muting your line, please, if you can?
Commissioner Chisholm Burns,
Aye.
Commissioner Dixon,
Aye.
Commissioner Gresham,
Aye.
Commissioner Christopher Jones, Dr. Yolanda Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Rothermel,
Aye.
Commissioner Swift,
Aye.
Commissioner Vaughn.
Aye.
Madam Chairman?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, you have 8 ayes.
Well, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. That was a good discussion. We can now say that we have adopted our first and likely only vision statement, which is every Tennessean have high quality education necessary for life and career. So congratulations, everyone. We have no other topics on our schedule today. And as many times as we have been over in the past, it seems as though we're in a position where we can give you time back. Although Commissioner Chisholm Burns, you have something to add?
I just have a question, but now I feel very awkward that I'm trying to take away time. So thank you for setting that up for me. With that being said, I wonder, do we want to have a mission statement? And I'm just putting it out there, and since we have agreed on the vision statement, do we want to tell people what we do, or do we want to pass and just go with the vision? That's the only thing.
I'll open that up to discussion from the team.
This is Glenn. I would observe a lot of that is going to come out, Marie, when we get into our initiatives. Those are the how we're going to accomplish the vision. And so that's the reason if you see even on that one pager down, it says focus the vision within the 4 initiatives that we've already teed up. That's what we're going to be. That's how we're going to accomplish our direction.
Well, what the mission statement is like what we're doing, what we're currently doing, and not necessarily getting down to that level. Like, for example, I'll just come off of the vision statement. Improving lives and careers of all Tennesseans through quality education. And I think it needs to, if we do this, it needs to be just that simple. We don't have to do it, but it's not getting down to the what. That's more of a tactic. I just put it out there, because it's at the bottom of this piece of paper that's up there, and I got confused with the mission and vision early on, and then I realized we didn't have a mission statement. But I could go either way, because I'm all about giving time back.
Any other comments or questions?
Joey, and I love the thought that the work is going to be deep, and I think that the faster we can get into looking at our priority areas, the better off we will be. So I think that we should move forward with what we have in place and go from there.
I agree.
I'm good with that.
And
Madam Chair,
yes,
so do I understand we're going to have a mission statement, or we're going to cuss and discuss and then kind of develop the mission statement from what we come up with as priorities? Am I getting that correctly?
that's what I understand the recommendation on the table is, that we are going to stick with the vision statement. And the mission will be the recommendations and strategies that we provide in our report. And I guess for provide additional perspective, I guess as I look at our mission as a commission, it ultimately comes back to the statute that was laid out in front of us, as all of us have come around the table. I think that the General Assembly last year clearly outlined what our mission is and what the expectations that they have of us over the next year and a few months. So it strikes me that makes it very clear, although not quite as beautiful as our vision statement.
Madam Chair,
Mr. James?
if I can interject on that, and I appreciate you making that point, because it's, just as we heard about in our last meeting, a lot of people are trying to think about what to do with education sort of in response to COVID. I don't know that very many around this country are looking at what can you do for K to successful citizenship? What can you do from K to career differently? In other words, with the parameters the way they are. So, yeah, it's tough to think about all of that in any other way other than sort of the enacting legislation as it's put there. I think that sets it out pretty clearly for us.
Any other thoughts before we depart? All right, well, it's 2:30 where I am. So I will officially call this meeting adjourned unless we have any other business.
Thank you for a very good meeting.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.